Hi, everyone. Just wanted to jump in real quick before we get started and say a quick thank you to all my patrons on Patreon. Thank you for supporting this class. And I look forward to creating new videos and new content with your support. So thank you very much. Your name should be appearing in this general area right now. Thanks. Okay, so last time we stopped here. And I said we would start here on April 3rd. And I also put in like a question for us to discuss at the beginning. Everyone is welcome to weigh in. Should we move faster through the exercises, or should we spend lots of time analyzing and discussing? Oh, I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to do it. I love doing this. I'm doing this thing where I make a poll. I love my polls so much.
Is the poll anonymous?
I can make it anonymous.
All polls should be anonymous.
We move faster through the exercises or spend lots of time discussing in detail. Multiple choice. Give me all the detail. Lots of time. Okay, I'm giving you lots of choices here. So we get a really good, you know, oh, wait, that's the wrong poll. Oh, I see how it works. Okay, I have multiple polls. Launch poll. Okay, poll is launched, and it is, I checked the box that says anonymous. If it's not anonymous by accident, I won't get angry at you. It's totally up to you. Now, how do I see you and the poll at the same time?
How do we see the results?
I can see the results. Can you not see the results? How about now? Can you see them? Okay, so it looks like everyone has voted. So I'm going to push end poll and share results. Can you see them now?
Yep, now they're up.
Okay, no one went for the lame Adventure Time reference that I put in there. So sincerely disappointed that that joke didn't land. But yeah, okay, so we'll spend lots of time discussing. Obviously that's my preference because I made it 3 out of 4 choices. But yeah, I mean, you do have an opportunity to disagree with me. Like I'm not that strict about it. Anyway, okay. So I have Moaz, Aurelio, Rasmus, and Christian, and it looks like Moaz is first. Do you want to take number 6?
Sure. Min chatus in Toktuk. And I have, there is no jar in your hand.
Yeah. Chatus. Jar. I'm going to look this up and see what he has for it. He must have jar. Oh, okay. Yeah, from Greek. There we go. I think of the word. There's a few words for jar. I don't know that one. Anyway, okay, so there's no jar in your hand. What is he showing us with this one? Why does this example exist?
I mean, maybe that by in Toktuk he means that in tot hand, you, so your hand.
Mm.
Or
yeah, so okay, so he's just showing us that thing, these compound prepositions, and that is part. Yeah, that's probably why it's in here. There are a few more grammatical oddities that we could note. So the word chatus, which I don't think I've ever heard before, except the last time I read through these exercises, which was at this point several weeks ago. But that's not very noteworthy. That's just a Greek lexical item. But this men chatus, how many jars?
one jar.
Okay, so why don't we say uchatus?
Well, I don't know, to be honest.
Anyone?
Because of men, it doesn't take the indefinite article. So
Yeah, it's just like a weird little idiosyncrasy, really, that with men, it omits the indefinite article. So we could say when uchatus, so there is a jar, but if we want to say there is none, we say men chatus. There's no jar. There's not a jar.
Should it be the
And then
same in
this-
plural?
So in plural, you can have hen with men hen chatus. And
Oh,
in that
okay.
case, it's very marked. It's like saying, I mean, like in English, there are not some jars in your hands. You would only say that if it were a response to a previous statement where someone said, there are some jars in my hands. And you said, there are not some jars in your hands. It's very marked with the plural.
I mean, I figure if there's not one, there's also not many. So I guess that makes, like, you know, if there's no cup in your hand, then there also isn't multiple cups in your hand. I guess that's logical.
Yeah.
They were like, well, there's
Yeah,
no
one precludes the other.
Yeah, yeah.
It's like one of those things that like old dudes. I was in the Boy Scouts, and like scout leaders are the most pedantic people in the world, and they always do these kind of like where you're like, there aren't any cups, or there isn't a cup in the bucket or something, and they'll be like, there isn't a cup in the bucket, but there are 3 or something. Like you can imagine playing that kind of linguistic game if you're a turd. Like, which is the prerogative of all scout leaders, of course, is to be as turdly to the kids as possible. It's like, of course you have to, it's your job. I say that with the deepest affection. So yeah, men omits the article for the logical reason that if there's not one, there probably aren't many, and people generally aren't being that pedantic about how many there are. And then this, your note about intotec is a good one. So this is a compound preposition, and this word toot is from, I can't type, how can I write? Let me try this thing. I should have tried this before, I'm sorry. If I connect to iPad, will it show my screen? Sweet, okay. And then how do I make it mirror? I want to see if I can like draw on the screen, because I really want to like write things down. Okay, so far so good. And that only took some time. Okay, what happens if I just write no? Highlighter? No. That sucks. Where's the drawing? And then using the Zoom's annotation features. That doesn't work in our new apartment because our Wi-Fi is too slow to do that. So I've been trying to come up with an alternative, and evidently this is not the answer to that. Oh, wait, hang on. Yes, okay, there we go. So that's okay. So tot, the pre-pronominal form, is related, of course, to the word tore, which is just the absolute form, with no suffix pronoun. And these are the same word. So you might remember me from such hieroglyphs as this, which is transliterated. Anybody want to give me the transliteration for this word?
Is it j-r-t or something?
Yeah, I'm amazed you're able to roll your R with your mouth full like that, Christian.
I wasn't full at that moment.
Okay, amazing. I would, yeah, it would be a disaster if I tried to do that. Okay, so yeah, transliteration, Jarrett. And then these words are both from that word. So anybody want to try to tell me what's going on there?
I can give it a shot. So if we take the tore, the final T falls off because it's word final, basically.
Yeah.
There may have been a glottal stop. We just don't know that because it wouldn't be indicated in the writing.
Yeah. So possible. Glottal
Then let's
stop.
move over to the prepronominal form. The R basically now becomes a glottal stop. That's why we have the double O, the double Omicron.
Yeah.
And the T becomes audible again because it's followed by a vowel from the suffix pronoun.
Very good. Good.
That's all
That's
I can
right.
count.
Sorry, your voice cut out on my end a little bit, but and it's
Oh,
yeah.
just the last thing I said was
talking over you, Aurelio.
Oh, didn't hear you. So must have been both directions. Last thing I said was the T becomes audible again because it's followed by a vowel from the suffix pronoun behind it.
Yeah, exactly correct. You cut out right as you said the T becomes audible again. So I thought that was like the end of the sentence. And then I was going to ask the follow-up question, but you went ahead and said it. So, okay, so if we have a suffix pronoun here, that's going to protect the T from being lost because it makes it syllable initial, right? This is tot, tef. It makes the R is now syllable final. So the R gets turned into a glottal stop and the T stays. Whereas in this form, the R stays and then the T is word final, so it gets lost. So do you want to try to reconstruct a pre-Coptic pronunciation for this word?
Okay, you mean in the suffix form and the one with the suffix behind it?
Either way, they're the same, actually.
Right. I mean, I would. Oh wait, I'm thinking about long versus short vowel. If we just take the standalone, the Torre, so that would be something like darit or jarit, I'm guessing, with a long A and some kind of, I'll just put an I in there, but who knows, right?
Okay, I'll put an I. I generally think it probably is an I, just on the basis of like Egyptian Arabic. The default short vowel in Egyptian Arabic is an I sound for the most part, not a sound as in English.
Okay.
Moaz, do you have thoughts on that?
Yeah, I mean, for example, the word I thought of, ركبت الميكروباص, we have in ركبت, so yeah.
Yeah, it's this. It's like the I.
Yeah.
So, okay, so let's say this is it. And then we have two forms here. Tiff, and then this, it's just this one still. So then, yeah, we apply our rules. We get a new color for this. Let's do like a nice blue. So we get the, delete word final T, and then that basically just gives us this form. Oh, sorry, I forgot the long. It's long because it's in an open.
Question about the first one. Is that really an I in the middle, or should it just be
syllable? So here's the syllable boundary. And after the stress. So this would get lost by the normal rules of vowel syncope, which we see in many other Afroasiatic languages. So this I is almost certainly going to be lost. So the example I would give you of this, Moaz, from like Egyptian Arabic is like you say ana asif, but a woman says ana asfa. No one says ana asifa. Or people might if they're trying to like sound very formal, but that middle I vowel tends to be lost.
Yeah, I think in Egyptian Arabic it would just be ana asfa. Ana asifa would be, I think, only in like formal Arabic.
Right. Yeah, so that same rule is very clearly in place in Egyptian. We can surmise because if we get a hypothetical reconstructed form like this, just that gives us the Coptic, right? Jotatif becomes Jotif, which becomes Jotif, Totif, because of the change from the fronting of that consonant. Yeah, there we go. And I don't know. QED. I don't know if you use that in linguistic derivations, but I feel like it applies.
Whoops. Did you hear me? I think your internet connection is a little choppy, but I just wanted
No.
to ask a question about all that.
Mine's so bad. Yeah.
So I noticed the dialect here is L for Lycopolitan, right?
Yeah.
And I see in the next sentence that it also is, and it looks like it's one of those dialects that still has a lot of ahs for where we in Saitic have all. So that's like in one of those instances where they might not have gone through a certain vowel shift. Like you see aval, which that's evol, right?
Yep, it is.
But and then we just determined that
I have highlighter selected.
That the reconstructed word would probably still have an a in it. So I wonder, but then you have the Nto'otuk or Tore. So I wonder, is that part of a different vowel shift, or like how did that become all while other alls stayed a in Lycopolitan?
I have
Great point.
no idea. I have no idea. Good question. I don't know. Yeah, that's a really
cool.
solid question.
Could it
I mean,
be that
Glottal
long
stop?
vowels
Yeah.
change for short vowels?
I feel like that would still apply here, though.
Hmm.
I'm more thinking glottal stop, maybe. I mean, glottal stops and gutturals, they sometimes do weird things to vowels.
Yeah.
That would be my first theory.
In the dialects that I've read much more, like Bohairic and Saitic, obviously, it tends to be the other way around. It tends to be the case that guttural consonants protect the alpha from being changed into an O.
True.
But there could be a different rule that works in the opposite way, where the presence of a guttural consonant promotes that vowel shift. I don't know. We also have an interesting example where the os on the end of this word, which is an unstressed nominal ending from the Greek word, gets this us treatment. Like it's very clear that this is being pronounced something like gatos or something, and then before it becomes this form, because this becomes a stressed vowel. Or maybe it's a rule in Lycopolitan where there's a short oo that's still written this way. I don't know for sure. I think that way to answer that, somebody's probably written about it and I just haven't read it. But we could also just look at a longer Lycopolitan text and try to infer some sort of pattern. But off the top of my head, I don't know what it is. It seems, yeah, I can't even guess at what it might be just from looking at it here. I think we need more evidence.
I mean, the personal pronouns all have a short vowel and become a,
Yeah,
like
cool question.
entaf, entas,
I'm actually,
eman. Sorry, internet again.
yeah. Yeah, that's true. Okay, so why in, I can't actually see my writing. No, just come over here. Okay, why in Lycopolitan, the O in some cases and in others. Is this a secondary vowel shift? I don't know. It's an interesting question. I'm just gonna like put a pin in it as something that we might try to answer. There's the vowel shift is definitely much more complicated than I explained in the previous class when I was talking about it. So stressed A-type vowels become Omicron and Omega. And the choice between the two seems to be whether they're an open or closed syllable. So Omega and open syllable, Omicron and closed syllable. That's generally the case, but a wrinkle to that is that if it's connected to the Canaanite vowel shift, then it doesn't quite match up, because in the Canaanite vowel shift, A-type vowel, stressed A-type vowels in open syllables became O, but stressed A-type vowels in closed syllables remained as A's in Hebrew. So then we have the question of where does Omicron come from? And we can hypothesize different explanations. So maybe in Egyptian, this vowel shift was adopted and then extended further to vowels in closed syllables, or alternatively, one possibility that I think is really interesting, maybe the vowel shift applied to all A-type vowels, and then Hebrew actually had a second shift backwards, where the O's in closed syllables changed back into A's. And it's entirely possible. It's happened in some dialects of English even. So both of those are possibilities. I don't know. I mean, what do you guys think?
Well, it doesn't seem that be any necessity of the vowel shift happening in exactly the same circumstances in both languages. Like we know that it hits Phoenician as well, but it hits differently in Phoenician than it does in Hebrew, and those are very closely related languages.
Yeah, absolutely. Good point. Yeah, so I think it's the case that neither of those explanations is necessarily more compelling a priori based on what I know about languages, but it's even the case that it's not a dilemma, right? There are infinite possibilities because vowel shifts in neighboring languages often differ slightly from one another. So yeah, and they are pretty complex. So Christian, when you asked that question, why are these A's still A's and this changes to an O? The complete and most honest answer is that the vowel shift is actually more complex than I have in my head as a model. There's even more to it than what I know, which is pretty exciting because it means there's something to discover here. But
I looked at Poist in the meantime, Christian, and
anyway,
he basically says a rule is not known.
Yeah.
When Sahidic has o, Achmimic can have either a or o. Example: Toot in Sahidic, Toot in Achmimic, Boone and Boone again, but Eloole and Elaale for grape, and Woop and Waave to be clean. So in both cases you have, or in all four cases you do have whatchamacallit, a glottal stop, or what Poist thinks is a long vowel. But you see both occurring.
Yeah.
Go figure.
That's awesome. I mean, that means that we actually have a real if it's not in Poist is pretty recent. I would guess that if Poist says no one knows why, it really is truly the case that no one knows. So yeah.
Research paper waiting.
Yeah, that's a paper right there. Poist says that no one knows. In 1999 or whatever, but I would say that still holds true. Probably no one knows. I certainly don't know, which is less surprising than you guys are probably inclined to think, because so far the class has been me telling you things that I know, and granted there are quite a lot of things that I know about this language, but there are an infinite number of things that I don't know. So yeah, we finally found one, and there's sure to be more. So yeah, good question. Christian, do you want to read this example?
Sure. I don't know if I have all the words down, but etna pistewe arai adal hiten puseje.
Yeah.
Puseje. Oh, probably pushaje. So etna which, I'm not sure how to parse that. Which will, but there's no pronoun. Which will believe, up or down, out of.
This is eroi.
Oh, okay. Okay, will believe.
This is the Lycopolitan equivalent of eroi.
Will believe in me. I should have clocked that. Which will believe in me, or believe me.
Mm-hmm.
Through Avalhiten, through their through I always get that one mixed up. who.
That's right.
Is it your word, your singular female?
So in Saitic, it would be your feminine singular, your word. In Bohairic, it would be their word. And I'm gonna guess that this one is their word, but we can find out. I'm trying to think of what I can search for. Oh my gosh, I now have like a zillion little windows in front of things. Let's search for pistewe eroi. That'll probably work. Oh, where even am I? Oh, it's because I'm doing the stupid screen sharing. Let's stop that. Wait, it's this one. Mirror. Aha. Okay, good. Yeah. Coptic. I still expect it to be that in Saitic, because it's like a verb of like knowing, so it should take. You are those who will believe me. It's not that one. Not that one. So let's try and evolve. See if anything comes. No. There's an index at the back of the book that we can use. We can also maybe narrow it down this way. It should stay the same. Just trying to make sure I don't change too much that it won't match in the other dialects anymore.
I think it was
not finding it.
Napistewe.
Okay. Oh, yeah. Okay, good. Yeah, thank you. Napistewe. That's that one we already found. There's only one. Maybe we can try just this.
It was etnar pistewe with an R in there.
True.
Oh, good. That would probably give us the Bohairic at this point, but yeah. Okay, we're probably not going to find it. I was hoping we could just get lucky there, but
It's
okay.
supposed to be John
Gonna have to
1720.
do something more sophisticated, like use the index at the back of the book.
On page 21, he does have the breakdown by dialect of the pronouns. I'm not pronouns, the possessive articles. In Alan.
Oh, cool. Okay, yeah, we'll look at that too. So both of these tell us that it's the third person plural. And you say on page 21.
Okay. Makes sense.
That was, yeah.
So there's a dialect divide here. Achemic, Bohairic, Lycopolitan use the U, and Fayumic and Oxyrhynchite and Saitic use the O. That's kind of neat. I wonder what's going on there. I really don't know. It's a really clean divide though. This one seems less significant, but this one is, this is not just orthographic. This is an actual difference in pronunciation. The third person is retaining this little short vowel. I mean, this is probably historically doing the same, but then converting that whole thing into just ooh. So yeah, there's something interesting going on there. I don't know what it is. Mm. Sorry, guys. I'm just having sluggishness across the board here. Okay, we're back. Okay, so it is their words. So what's Christian? What do you have for the whole thing?
So for the whole thing, I would say, which will, well, we don't know what the subject is here, which will believe me or believe in me through their word. Did that come across?
Good. Okay, yeah, and good catch on Seje. Yeah, it did. And yeah, good catch on Seje being Saji or Shaje, depending on the other dialects. From Sejed, to relate, originally. And then, do you know why it becomes Shaje in Saitic and not Saje?
Is it some sort of like assimilation of consonants? I forget what the exact term is. Where two consonants, if they're close together and they're the sound.
The term, I love this term because the general term is assimilation, but I think I discovered this actually. I don't know. I might have read it somewhere and then forgot where I read it and then made up in my head that I discovered it. But I believe that the reason for this is a phenomenon called Sibilant Harmony. And that's where like affricated sounds tend to spread to other consonant sounds in words. So yeah, so the original Saji would have like some probability of transforming into Shaji or Shaje in any language in the world, because that's a general phenomenon that occurs. It's called Sibilant Harmony. So yeah, maybe I discovered that. I don't know. Give me credit for it, whether I did or not, because you know, why not? Okay. So I don't remember who I've already called on, but I think I haven't called on Rasmus. So Rasmus, do you want to do number 8?
Sure. So it's fermentre et beetef, which would be he witnessed on his own behalf or about himself. And it's an odd construction because I think it's the first present, right? And so the verb is actually just and then it's to do witness. He did witness.
Yep.
So the mentre is really a noun.
Yeah. I don't know if there's really anything else to be said about this one. Your translation is exactly right. He bore witness. This translation is super awkward for capturing the Coptic because it's just so wordy. But yeah, the Coptic is.
I think I used the past actually, and it should be present, right?
He testified on his own behalf.
Yeah, I think I mistakenly used the past, but it should be present that he is witnessing about himself.
Yeah, I think I just did the same thing, actually. It is in the present. He is bearing witness on his own behalf, or he's witnessing on behalf of himself. However, yeah, cool. Okay, and there's one person whom I haven't called on. I think it might be Aurelio, but I'm not totally sure. Is it you, Aurelio?
Sure, I'll take it. That's fine. So, Avogevol, Sidon, Etalassa, and Galilea. He went from Sidon, he went forth from Sidon to the Sea of Galilee. Hun being from in this case, and then A indicating the direction.
Yeah, literally.
You're frozen, at least on my end.
Yeah, I froze. I'm sorry.
How dare you?
Somebody your apartment complex is torrenting.
Yeah, we're working.
It really went down.
Our internet just isn't very fast, and we're planning to talk to our landlord to try to like increase the speed and like pay for it just to get it faster, because my wife and I are both, meetings online all day, and only one device can use the Wi-Fi for this at a time. It's just way too slow.
Wow. Okay.
But
All
anyway,
right.
so sorry about that. Hopefully it'll be fixed by next week. Yeah, it's really annoying. Okay, so I think on that note, your translation is good. I think we'll stop here because the internet is just way too shoddy. But we'll come back next week, hopefully with faster internet, and get after it some more.
Okay, sounds good.
Okay, I'm gonna type that in the chat too, just in case. Okay, typing it in the chat just in case you couldn't hear me. And I'll go ahead and sign off here and maybe see y'all next week.
Sounds good.
good.
Bye.
Have a good one.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Thanks.
Bye.